This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, all. Good morning. Welcome back. Yeah, today we are going to discuss about VPC on cloud. The same concept where we discussed in AWS. Okay, here also same concept, and the terminology will be different. Some functionality, little differences there. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Fine. So we know what is VPC, right? So a global private isolated network partition that provides managed network functionality, right? So virtual private cloud provision a logically isolated section of the GCP cloud, right? So it gives you the flexibility to scale and control, right? Yeah. How workloads connect regionally and globally, right? So we know that VPC is a isolated section. It is an isolated space, right? So normally in the cloud data center, GCP data center, so we create logical space, right? If you take any missions traditionally, on-premises missions, okay, on-premises servers, and we want to establish a communication between the missions, right? So we'll take some network range. We'll take some network range, so which is a subnet, right? So and we configure that subnet so that what will happen here, from one system to other system, communication will be established within that subnet, right? So and we can transfer the data from one system to other system. Also we can do ping test also. From one system to other system, we can test the ping also. The same way we can create a network in cloud for our project, okay? That is nothing but VPC. Virtual private cloud is nothing but network on GCP, in which we can manage our own network functionality, right? Fine. Yeah, so this is the VPC, cloud VPC. So here we have two subnets. So these two subnets, if you want to connect through gateway we have to connect from our laptop or desktop. Okay, first we have to connect gateways, VPN gateway. Through that only we can connect our subnets, right? So advantages. What are the advantages? The whole point of VPC is isolation, right? So this is for our own isolation network, right? Within this VPC, the VM instances can communicate, right? So they are flexible and scalable. On the fly, any number of VM instances, we can add and implement as per the requirement, right? Yeah, and also, yeah, they support multi-tenancy. One VPC to other VPC, you can establish the connection, right? And instances inside the VPC can talk each other using private IP addresses, right? So when we log in into the server, we'll have private IP addresses, right? So that through IP address, that IP address, we can communicate each other. VPCs are global. VPCs are private and secure using IAM and firewalls. Yeah. So VPCs are private and secure using IAM and firewall means to implement the security, normally we use IAM and firewalls. Yeah, types of VPC. So auto mode VPC automatically created within a single subnet in each region. Custom mode So manually created. No subnets are created by default. So we use custom mode here. Okay, in GCP we create custom network, custom VPC. We don't create auto VPC. So in AWS we created auto templates. Auto templates means auto range we used, but here we create custom range. We give different IP ranges and we can create the VPC with subnets. Okay, next one. Subnets. So what is subnet? Subnet is a logical partition of the network. Logically we will create the network, right? We can divide the network in a VPC, that divided partition subnet. Partition is subnet, right? This is referenced by a IP address prefix range. There should be no overlapping in the IP address in subnets. VPCs are global, but subnets are regional. IP address. What is IP address? Yeah, internal and external IP addresses. Every machine is a VPC will have internal IP. It can also have an external IP. VMs know their internal IP, but not their external IP. Right? External IP is chargeable if not used. So here there is a condition. Okay, external IP is chargeable if not used. Okay, whenever you are not using external IP, it would be charged. Next, primary and secondary IPs. Every VM has a IP address which is primary to it. It can hold more IPs. They can be secondary IPs. Secondary IPs can be effective in the uses of containers. Okay. Next, firewalls. So firewall concept added here, right? So firewalls. So what is firewall? Firewall is a network security device. Firewall is a network security device that maintains inbound and outbound traffic, right? So here firewalls are the rules that control the flow to allow traffic travel from one instance to other within VPC or outside VPC. Firewall can be ingress. Ingress means inbound rules. Egress means outbound rules. They can be allow and deny rules. So when we create VPC, if you want to allow the traffic, we need to configure ingress. Okay, so that we'll see that once we create the VPC, we'll see that. These are the things available. Yeah. So let us go and create VPC. Yeah, console.cloud.google.com. Now, if you want to create VPC, go to navigation menu. VPC network key is available here, right? So go down here. See, this is the actual one. Okay. So this is a recently visited service. That is why it is showing here. VPC network. Okay. So recently visited service. That is why it is showing here. Normally, we go down here and we have to select here VPC network. Click on this. These are the default VPCs. Okay. So these are the default VPCs on different regions. US Central, default one. Okay. So Europe, West one. US, West one. Asia, East one. US, West one. Asia, Northeast one. Asia, like this. These are the different default VPCs available on different regions, right? So next one is external IP addresses. So if you want to enable external IP addresses, you can enable firewalls, routers, right? Network peering also, if you want to enable, these are the things, right? Now I want to create one VPC. Create VPC network. Click on this. Yeah. So VPC name, we can give some VPC name. Training VPC. Training VPC. Description is not required. If you want to give, you can give. Next one, subnets. So once we are creating VPC, we have to give subnet range also, right? We have to create subnets also, right? So here, if you give automatic subnets, automatic range it will take, right? I don't want to give automatic range. I want to create my own range. Name, subnet name, subnet 1, a region. So I can give US East 1. IP range 10.0.0.0/24. This is subnet 1 range. Okay. Click on done. So private Google access, flow logs, we can off this. Logs are required. Click on done. Subnet 1 added here. Okay. So I want to add one more subnet. Click on add subnet. Subnet name, subnet 2, region, US East 1, subnet range 10.0.1.0/24. Different range. Click on done. Okay. Subnet 2 is created. Add subnet, one more subnet. Subnet 3. US East 1. 10.0.2.0/24. So 3 are different ranges. 3 subnets are different ranges. You can view. Click on done. Now. Yeah. So once you add the 3 subnets, you can create VPC. Click on create VPC. So our VPC is creating. See here, this is a training VPC. Yeah. So our VPC is created here. See here, subnet 1, VPC with a subnets, 3 subnets. Subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. Right? So here also, this is the range, subnet range. Now what we are doing here, yeah. So this is our VPC. So inside the VPC, we create 3 subnets. Subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. Okay. So these 3 subnets already we created, right? So this is VPC and these are subnet 1. Subnet 3. Right. So inside of this subnet, we create 3 missions here, 3 servers. So here in this server, in this subnet, we can create web server. In this subnet, we can create app server. In this subnet, we can create DB server. So now these 3 servers, right? So communication will be established from one server to other server. Okay. So from one server to other server, we can able to ping if you allow traffic. Okay. So but here we create some firewall rule. Okay. So to restrict the traffic, inbound traffic to DB server, we can create some firewalls here. We don't allow traffic to DB server. I don't want to allow inbound traffic to DB server. That is why. So I create one firewall rule and I stop the inbound traffic to database server. Okay. So yeah, first we can establish connection. We can create the rules to communicate each other. So after that, we can control the inbound traffic of subnet like this DB server, right? So how to control that? How to deny the traffic, right? How to enable the firewall rules? We'll try to understand. Yeah. So our VPC is ready with subnets, right? Now I want to create one VM on subnet 1. So just a minute, please. Just 1 minute. Yeah, some background noise coming. That is why I close my windows. Yeah, now we can create 3 VMs on 3 different subnets. Okay, and we can check the connectivity. Okay. Now compute engine, go to compute engine, VM instance. Yeah. Create instance. Right, instance name VM01. Labels, if you want to give labels, you can give, or else you can leave as it is. Okay, labels you can ignore this. Next one, region. Don't select this. Yeah. Don't select this and go down here. Series N1 series I want to give, N1 basic mission I want to give. Next one, go down here. This is Debian mission, 10 GB hard drive, right? So go down here. I don't want to allow HTTP, HTTPS. Later I can create firewall. Now I don't want to create firewall. Okay. So next one is see here, management, security, disks, networking, sole tenancy. Click on this. Go down here. Click on networking, network tags. So network tags. So we have to give tag name here. So we have to give tag name here, which is web server. Sorry, here server name also VM, not VM01, web server. Web server we can give. This is first server, N1 series. Yeah. In network tags, we can give web server. Web server. See here, network interface. By default, it is showing default network. So I don't want to use default one. I want to give custom network, which is our custom network, which is training network, training VPC, right? You can select training VPC. Training VPC. Yeah. No need to select anything. You can click on done. Okay. So here we have to do something. A region we have to select. US East trade. We are in US East trade. US East one. Now we can select this. See here. Training VPC and subnet is subnet one. By default, it is selected subnet one. We have three subnets. Subnet two, subnet three. We have, right? So we selected subnet one. Yeah. Now we can click on done. Create VM. Click on create this. Now VM is creating. So one VM is created. Yeah, right. So now we can create one more VM. Create instance, click on this. So this is app server. Select US East 1. N1 series. Go down here. Select your networking. Click on networking. Network tags. App server. Okay, so network interface. Select your custom network. Subnet, you can change subnet here. Second subnet. Subnet 2. Go down here. Click on done. Create. Second VM is creating now. Now it is created. Next one is third one. Create instance. Database server we can create. DB server. Region US East 1. N1 series. Yeah, select networking. Click on networking. Network tags DB server. Select your custom network. And VPC. Subnet 3 we have to select here. Subnet 3. Click on done. Now create this instance. So 3 VMs created under 3 subnets with the different ranges, right? Yeah. So we have created VMs and we haven't enabled any firewall rules, right? So we haven't given any firewall rules to communicate each other, right? So now what I will do, I try to connect web server. This is the web server, right? So I want to connect this web server. So I haven't enabled any rules here. So I try to connect this machine, open in browser window. It will not connect because we haven't enabled any firewalls. We haven't enabled any HTTP, HTTPS rules, right? It will give error. See here, connection failed. We are unable to connect to the VM on port 22. So because we haven't enabled firewall, right? Now I want to enable firewall. Yeah, now what I will do, I want to enable firewall rules. Search here, firewall. Click on firewall. Yeah, so these are the firewalls, default firewalls which are available. See here, default hello HTTP, HTTPS, ingress, HTTP server, IP ranges, some ranges, TCP port 80, hello, TCP port 22, hello, right? So priority 65534, so higher priority, right? 1000 also we can provide, we can give. 65535 also we can give. 65535 means 34 means all TCP, right? Apply all. So in AWS we enabled the security group, right? All TCP, all traffic. The same way here we use firewalls to enable this. Okay. Yeah, if you want to enable, you can enable like this. Now I want to create one custom firewall. Okay. So for which create firewall tool, click on this. Name firewall one. Description is not required. Logs you can say off here. Next one, network, we have to select custom network. Training VPC. So priority 1000 means highest priority. Priority 1000 means highest priority. You can keep this highest priority. Next one, direction of traffic, ingress. So I enable ingress, inbound traffic. I want to enable this. Okay. Next one is action or match. You can allow. Okay. Next one, targets. Targets we can use all instances in the network. You can give all instances in the network, right? So source filter, IP ranges, source IP address, source IP ranges. Source IP range ఏమిస్తాడు మనం ఆల్ టీసీపీ ఎనేబుల్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇచ్చాం కదా మనం, గుర్తుందా మీకు? Do you have idea about this? Source IP range, what range we have to give? All TCP enable చేసినప్పుడు when we enable all TCP in AWS, by the time we selected something,
10.0.
అదండి 0.0.0.0/0 means anywhere. This is anywhere, right? From anywhere you can access. So when we create security group, by the time we enable this, right? RTCP we give and we give this range. So 0.0.0.0/0 means, so it will allow all the ranges, all IP ranges. Okay. Next, go down. Second, source filter not required. So protocols, this is important. Protocols. Okay. So specified protocols, if you give allow all, so all ports will be allowed. So I don't want to allow all ports. I want to give some restrictions here. So TCP, select TCP. So 22 port I want to allow. Okay. Next, 80 port I want to allow. 3306 also I want to allow. Okay. So these are the ports I want to allow. So 22 port means SSH port. We know, right? 22 is SSH port. We know, right? So 80 is HTTP port. 3306 is database port, right? So these three ports I'm allowing now. Next one is, yeah. So I can allow these three ports. Now we can create firewall rule, right? Click on create this. Yeah, so I created one firewall rule here. It is creating now. Once it is created, the server will be connected. So these are the ports open, 2280 and 3306. Ingress will be allowed. Now if you check here, if you retry here, you're able to connect. See here. Now we are able to connect, right? So now this is a web server. Now I want to connect app server also and DB server also. Compute engine, VM instance. So now I want to connect app server, also DB server. So, app and DB server I want to connect here. So now these two are connecting. So now I'll try to ping from app server, web server to app server. Ping app server. Ping test is not happening, right? So ping test is not happening from app server, from web server to app server. Also, Control Z to stop here. Ping DB server. So this ping is not happening. Why it is not happening? Some issue is there here, right? We can troubleshoot this. So because some reason it is not accessible. So what is the reason? I'll show you. So go to firewalls. Open your firewall and edit this. Click on firewall 1. See here. Protocols we have enabled 22 port, 80 port and 3306. But so we haven't enabled one port which is required for communication. The port is ICMP port. ICMP port should be enabled. Otherwise, so communication will not be established, right? So now click on edit. Go down here. So this TCP ports are enabled. So other protocols, which is ICMP, we have to enable ICMP. So ICMP means, what is the ICMP full form? Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP. So click on save. Now the communication will be established. So if you check now, the ping will be started. See here. From web server to DB server, ping is happening. Right? Control Z. So even from web server to app server also will ping. So now it is pinging, right? So from one server to other server, we are able to ping, right? So now it is fine. Communication is established, but I want to control the traffic for DB server. I don't want to allow traffic to database server. So normally in real time production environments, we don't allow traffic to database server, because so if you allow traffic to database server, what will happen? So the data will be leaked. Data leakage will be happen. That is why, so normally in real time, we don't allow inbound traffic to the database servers, right? So that we have to create some rules again. One more rule we have to create. Okay. Now, yeah. So currently we have one firewall rule here. Now I want to create one more rule to control the inbound traffic of database server. Okay. So how to control that? So we'll try to understand. So click on firewall. Create firewall rule. One more rule I want to create now. Okay. So name firewall 2. Okay. So next one is network, custom network. So priority. So priority, I don't want to give 1000. I want to give 900. Less priority. Okay. 1000 is highest priority. 900 we can give less priority for this rule. Okay. Next one. See here. Next one is direction of traffic ingress, right? Action or match. I want to deny this traffic, right? So targets. So target tags where you want to specify target tags where you want to control the traffic. Okay, for DB server, DB server. For DB server, I want to stop the inbound traffic, right? So we have to give DB server source filter, IP ranges. So IP range we have to provide. So from which server to which server we are stopping traffic? From web server to DB server, I want to control the traffic. Okay. So here source IP address, we have to give web server IP address 10 dot web server IP range 0.0.0/24. This is web server range. From web server, I want to stop the inbound traffic. Okay. Now, TCP enable here. Here we can enable 3306 TCP port. So ICMP also we have to enable other protocols ICMP. Yeah. Now, so create this, create rule. A rule is created. Second rule is created. Firewall rule. From web server to DB server, I want to control the traffic, inbound traffic, right? So now go to web server. This is web server, control C. So now I want to ping DB server. Now DB server is not pinging, right? So now I want to ping from web server, I want to ping app server. App server is pinging. DB server is not pinging, app server is pinging, right? Control C. DB server not pinging. Only from web server I control the traffic. Only web server. Okay. So like this, whatever servers, whatever range you want to control, this is web server range. Web server range is 0.0.0, not 0, 10.0.0.0/24. That range I don't want to allow. So now I restricted this using firewall. Now if you want to restrict another server, another range, we have to create one more rule, right? So now, yeah, this condition is applied. That is why it is not allowing inbound traffic to the database server, right? That is why it is stopped. Now from app server, you can ping to database server. This is app server. See here, this is app server. From app server, you can ping to database server. Ping DB server. See here, Now it is pinging. Also from database server to web server you can ping. This is database server. From here you can ping web server. Ping web server. Only inbound traffic we have restricted to the database server. So from database server we can ping other servers, right? So this is the way normally in real time will control the traffic. Okay, so we can create firewall rules in GCP. So this is very important, Andy. So interview question. This is interview question. How to control? So they give you scenario like this. They give you scenario like this. So I have one web server and one app server, database server. We have custom VPC. Inside the custom VPC, we have 3 subnets. Instead of the subnets, we have 3 servers. So app server, web server, DB server. Okay. So DB server, I don't want to allow inbound traffic. Okay. So this is interview question. Last time when I attended proxy, so I got this question. That is why I explaining you this scenario. Okay, this is very important. So to control the inbound traffic, we have to use like this. We have to create firewall rules and we have to control the inbound traffic. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, you can in firewall in one firewall rule you can create multiple rules, sir. Like only one firewall, one rule you can create.
Yeah, you can read and check here. Yeah, you can create only one rule actually. So it will see here targets. So in place of this DB server, you can give app server also. So can you read this? So targets where you want to target. Along with DB server, you can give app server also. And also source IP ranges from this server only. From which server? Web server only. From web server, I don't want to allow traffic to DB server, app server. Okay, so now we can try this. From web server, we can't ping app and DB, right? Now this is web server. So we are unable to ping DB server. Now Control C. I want to ping app server also. What happened here? Currently, it is not pinging, right? So like this, you can restrict the traffic from particular server to other server. We can't ping particular server range, not server range.
But we didn't provide only DB server IP range only, sir. But app server IP range we didn't provide.
We gave tag name, right? No. Don't confuse here. Don't confuse here. See here. What we are saying here.
The tag name.
Yeah, see here. Target tags. What we are saying from this range. This is the web server range. From web server, we are not allowing traffic to database server, app server. This is web server range. Web server IP, right?
Yes.
So from this range, we are not allowing traffic to these 2 servers. Right? So like this, we can enable the firewall rules. And in AWS also, we can do these. Someone Mohan is saying like, yeah. AWS also, we can do this. In AWS, what we did earlier when we work on that, so we use default ranges, default IP range, whatever range provided by AWS that we use. But here we are using custom ranges. We gave our own range. custom ranges, right? So here we can assign our own, right? So this is the way we can create firewall rules and we can restrict the traffic, fine. So once you practice this, you can delete VPC, otherwise bill will be generated. First I delete firewall rules. Next we have to delete VM instance. Go to Compute Engine. Delete VMs.
Sir,
Yeah. Go ahead.
in AWS we are assigning one elastic IP.
In AWS, what happened?
No, we're creating one elastic IP, sir, for for an instance. Like Google Cloud also, how can we use that elastic?
In GCP, right? In GCP, how to create? You're asking, right?
Yes, sir, elastic IP can.
Yeah, here we can call it as different way. I'll show you on Monday. We'll discuss that. VPC. You can delete VPC now. Along with VPC, subnets also will be deleted. Select this VPC, private VPC, and delete VPC network. Click on this. Yeah, we can give multiple ranges also. We can give, yes, Devakar. We can give multiple source ranges to control traffic. Yes, we can give that. Different way you can try. You can try different way. So it will allow you to give different ranges. Yeah, it is deleted. Yes, it is clean up. So once you practice this, you can delete all these things. Otherwise, the bill will be generated. Okay, fine. So you can practice this. This is very important. Monday we'll discuss about IAM, identity and access management, and we have storage also. So after that, monitoring also we can check. So Monday probably we can discuss about storage or IAM. Okay. So we'll have another 2 sessions. So already we completed 3 sessions, right? So we'll have another 2 sessions, Monday and Tuesday. Most probably can complete. Fine. So in GCP and Azure, we cover only infrastructure like servers, how to create instance, right? How to create network, how to create storage, what is monitoring, what is IAM. These services we cover. Fine. Yeah, we stop here. So Monday we'll work on different concepts. Fine. Yeah. Any questions, Sunday? Final, any question? Last question.
Sir, yesterday I asked how to connect SSH.
I'll show you and I'll show you. It will take some time. We have to generate some key. Using that key, we can connect. I'll show you Monday. It will not take much time. Monday I'll show you.
Okay.
Sir, in Terraform, how do we connect the instances that we created using Terraform throughput session? Generally, I tried, but I am unable to connect throughput session.
In Terraform, question I could not understand. Can you come
In
again?
Terraform, so when we create the instances, generally we create the instances using Terraform, right, sir? I'm unable to
Correct.
connect. Yeah, I'm unable to connect this instances through PuTTY. So, is there any alternative way to connect the instances through PuTTY? Actually,
Okay.
I've added this key pair to the script, so that was
Mhm.
executed. I was able to execute. So the servers were created and the instances were
Mhm.
created, but I was unable to connect the servers to PuTTY. I tried
Okay.
multiple times, but yeah.
Mhm. So actually, we have to include the script in Terraform script actually. Okay.
I did,
So
sir. Actually, I included. I mean, I have I edited the script. I mean, I've added the key pair. I've created one key pair and I've added that to the script. I
okay.
executed, so I was able
Mhm.
to execute.
Mhm.
So everything was fine. Even in the instances were created, but I was
Mhm.
unable to connect them.
Correct. Mhm. Got it. Got it. So we'll check that. We'll check that. I'll give you some idea about that. Okay. I'll, let me see once again. I'll give you idea.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stop here and we will work on different subjects.
Yeah. Fine.
Fine. Thank you all.